Imagine you're suddenly thrust into a survival situation. What's the first thing you do? The answer lies in understanding survival by the numbers, a concept rooted in the classic rule of threes. Let's break it down. The first part of the rule of threes states that you can survive only 3 minutes without air. Breathing is automatic, but when it becomes difficult due to smoke, water, or panic, those 3 minutes can seem like an eternity. Without oxygen, your body and brain will start to shut down. It's not just about filling your lungs. It's about keeping your mind clear and focused. Next, we have 3 hours without shelter in harsh conditions. When exposed to the elements, your body must work overtime to maintain its core temperature. This can lead to exhaustion and hypothermia or heat stroke in warmer climates. A shelter can be anything that protects you from the elements and conserves your body heat or provides shade. The rule of threes also states that you can survive 3 days without water. Water is vital for all bodily functions, from digestion to maintaining your body temperature. Dehydration can quickly lead to confusion, fatigue, and eventually organ failure. And finally, you can survive 3 weeks without food. While it's not ideal, your body can use its fat stores for energy. But after a while, you'll become weak, and your body will start to break down its muscle tissue for fuel. Ignoring these essential survival elements can lead to severe consequences. Without air, you'll lose consciousness and eventually suffocate. Without shelter, you're exposed to hypothermia or heat stroke. Without water, your body will slowly shut down, and without food, your body will waste away. But survival isn't just about enduring, it's about understanding these basic needs and planning how to meet them in a crisis scenario. It's about staying one step ahead of the clock, transforming survival from a game of chance into a game of strategy. Understanding these basic survival needs is crucial in any crisis scenario. Now let's delve into the often overlooked survival priorities, encapsulated in the Rule of Sevens. This rule takes into account some crucial factors that many tend to neglect in survival situations: reaction time, security, hygiene, and long-term planning. First up is reaction time. In a survival situation, you have roughly 7 seconds to react to immediate danger. This can be anything from a falling tree to an aggressive wild animal. Your ability to quickly assess the situation and make a decision could mean the difference between life and death. Next, we have security. You might think you're safe once you've found shelter, but the truth is, you have about 7 hours before potential threats start to close in. This could be other people desperate for resources, or predators drawn by your scent. Staying vigilant and maintaining security is paramount. Hygiene is another aspect often overlooked. After 7 days without proper hygiene, the risk of disease significantly increases. Regularly washing your hands, brushing your teeth, and keeping your living area clean are essential. Remember, in survival situations, a simple infection can quickly escalate into a life-threatening condition. Lastly, we have long-term planning. Without a solid strategy, mental and physical collapse can occur within 7 weeks. It's essential to plan for resource gathering, waste management, and even entertainment to maintain morale. A long-term survival plan is a living document, constantly evolving as your situation changes. As you can see, the Rule of Sevens extends beyond the immediate needs of air, shelter, water, and food. It's about understanding the less obvious but equally important aspects of survival. These elements are often overlooked because they aren't immediate threats, but they can become deadly if ignored. Neglecting these aspects can lead to dire consequences, so it's vital to prepare for them. In the next scenes, we'll be breaking down each of these elements in more detail, providing you with practical tips and strategies to ensure you're fully prepared when SHTF, so stay tuned. Let's talk about breathing. It's not just about the air you inhale, it's about panic control. In a survival situation, it's easy to let your fear and adrenaline take over. But when panic sets in, your breathing becomes shallow, your heart rate spikes, and you're not getting the oxygen you need to think clearly and make sound decisions. Just consider this. You may have 3 minutes without oxygen, but you've got mere seconds to control your breathing under stress. So what's the solution? Simple. It's all about mastering the art of panic control through controlled breathing. Now you might be wondering, how does controlled breathing work? Well, it's all about slowing down your breath, which in turn slows down your heart rate and helps to calm your mind. One technique is called box breathing. This involves inhaling for a count of 4, holding that breath for 4, exhaling for 4, and then holding the breath out for another 4. Repeat this cycle and you'll soon find your heart rate dropping and your mind becoming clearer. Another technique is diaphragmatic breathing. or belly breathing. This is where you breathe deeply into your stomach rather than shallowly into your chest, which can help to stimulate the body's natural relaxation response. But remember, these techniques aren't just for when panic strikes. Regular practice can help to improve your overall respiratory health and lung capacity, and can even help to reduce stress and anxiety in your everyday life. So the next time you find yourself in a high-stress situation, whether it's a survival scenario or just a challenging day at work, remember to take a moment to breathe. Focus on the air entering your lungs, hold it, then release it slowly. You'll be amazed at how such a simple action can have such a profound impact on your ability to remain calm under pressure. Remember, in a survival situation, the ability to control your breathing can be a lifesaver. Shelter is more than just a roof over your head. It's about temperature, terrain, and timing. When we think of shelter, we often picture a sturdy house or a cozy cabin in the woods. But in a survival situation, shelter takes on a whole new meaning. It's not about four walls and a roof. It's about protection from the elements, insulation from extreme temperatures, and a safe spot to rest and recuperate. Temperature is a key factor in survival. You need to stay warm in cold conditions and cool in hot ones. A well-made shelter can provide insulation from the cold, shade from the sun, and a barrier against wind or rain. It's not just about comfort. It's about preventing hypothermia or heat stroke, conditions that can be fatal in a survival situation. Terrain is another critical aspect. A shelter on flat, dry ground is preferable to one on a slope or in a valley where water might collect. Look for natural features that can provide protection, like rock overhangs or dense vegetation. But remember, your shelter should be easy to spot for potential rescuers. Timing is crucial too. The rule of threes says you have 3 hours to find or build a shelter in harsh conditions. That's not a lot of time, especially if you're injured, tired, or under stress. So, you need to know how to build a shelter fast with whatever materials you have on hand. Consider a lean-to, a simple structure that can be built quickly using branches and foliage. Or a snow cave if you're in a winter environment. Even a large plastic bag can be a lifesaver, providing a waterproof barrier and helping to trap body heat. Knowing what to prioritize when building a shelter can make a significant difference in your survival. It's not about creating a home away from home. It's about protecting your body from the environment long enough for you to be rescued or to reach safety. So remember, when it comes to shelter, think temperature, terrain, and timing. Water is life. But did you know that the survival clock starts ticking the moment you stop drinking? It's true, and it's a countdown you don't want to be on the wrong end of. Dehydration is a silent and swift enemy. It stealthily creeps up on you, impairing your cognitive functions, and if left unchecked, starts shutting down your organs one by one. Imagine, by the 12th hour without water, your thought process is already getting fuzzy. And by the second day, your body is in full-blown crisis mode with organs on the brink of shutting down. Let's not forget, this is a scenario we want to avoid at all costs. So, how do we do that? The answer lies in being proactive about sourcing, filtering, and storing water. It's not just about finding a water source, it's about ensuring that source is clean and safe to drink. Simple techniques like boiling or using purification tablets can make a world of difference in ensuring the water you consume isn't harmful. And what about storage? Having a sturdy, reliable container to store your water is crucial. It's equally important to have a plan for rationing that supply, making sure it lasts for as long as possible. Remember, staying hydrated is non-negotiable in any survival situation. So, let's beat the clock and make sure we're always one step ahead when it comes to water. Food is not just about filling your stomach, it's about maintaining your energy, morale, and functionality. You may have heard that you can survive 3 weeks without food, but the reality paints a different picture. Your body starts to break down in just a matter of days without proper nutrition. When food intake stops, the body enters a phase called ketosis after burning through the glucose in your blood. This is the body's survival mode, where it begins to break down stored fats for energy. However, this is far from ideal. You may feel lethargic, weak, and mentally foggy, which are hardly the traits one needs in a survival situation. After about a week, the body enters the starvation phase. Here, your body starts breaking down its own proteins, your muscles, to keep vital organs functioning. This leads to muscle weakness, immune system failure, and eventually, organ failure. So what's the solution? Opt for foods that offer high energy with a small supply. Foods rich in proteins and fats like nuts and dried meats are excellent choices. They're lightweight, easy to carry, and packed with the nutrients your body needs to fend off the starvation phase. Also, Don't overlook the morale boost of a good meal. Comfort foods, even in small amounts, can do wonders for your mental state. Choosing the right food can make a huge difference in your survival. Remember, it's not just about lasting 3 weeks. It's about staying functional. Security and sanity. Two aspects often overlooked in survival situations, but they are as crucial as any. Let's delve into the 7-hour and 7-day marks in the rule of sevens. The 7-hour mark is all about security. After being unprotected for 7 hours, you become vulnerable, especially in urban or high-risk areas. The human mind is not built to be on high alert indefinitely. After 7 hours, fatigue sets in, the mind gets cloudy and reactions slow down. That's when threats can close in. The key here is to establish a secure perimeter, to rotate tasks among your group, and to rest whenever possible. Now, on to the 7-day mark. This is where sanity comes into play. By the 7th day of a crisis, most untrained individuals experience mental collapse, fear paralysis, or emotional breakdown. Why? Because the human mind thrives on routine and predictability, both of which are absent in a crisis. This is why it's vital to establish a routine early on, even in the midst of chaos. A routine provides a sense of normalcy and control, which can significantly reduce stress and anxiety. This routine can be as simple as waking up at the same time each day, dividing the day into work and rest periods, or even having a specific meal schedule. Group structure is another critical factor in maintaining sanity. In times of crisis, a well-defined group structure can provide a sense of order and security. It's important to assign roles based on skills and strengths, and ensure everyone understands their responsibilities. Lastly, environmental control. This means making your immediate surroundings as comfortable and safe as possible. It can be as simple as keeping your area tidy, making sure there's a clear path to the exit, or even just having a familiar object or picture to provide some comfort. Remember, security and sanity are as important as food, water, and shelter. In a survival situation, neglecting these can have dire consequences, so always be mindful of the 7-hour and 7-day marks and plan accordingly. Now that we've covered the rule of 3s and 7s, let's talk about flipping the script on your survival timeline. It's not enough to simply understand these rules, you must be able to act on them proactively. Think of it this way, instead of waiting for the clock to run out, you're setting your own time. It's about mindset drills, layered preparations, and strategic planning. It's about knowing how to source water before the 3-day mark or establishing security protocols before the 7-hour benchmark. It's about having a plan in place to maintain hygiene before the 7th day and so on. This proactive approach allows you to stay one step ahead, to be prepared for what's coming, and to have the necessary measures in place. It's about turning these survival rules from a countdown to disaster into a checklist for survival. With the right preparation, you can reset the survival clock in your favor.